Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel and the first ever live stream on the channel. Now, I'm not going to get started with the analysis just yet. Before we do that, get in the chat and let me know if you guys can hear me properly. Because like I said, this is the first time we've ever done one of these and I'm confident I'll probably do something wrong. So let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. That's one yes. Can everyone else hear me? Yep, everyone's sounding good. Happy days. Now, we'll leave it a couple of minutes before we actually get fully into the tactics because, you know, give time for people to get back from the match and actually get on the video. But first things first, get in the comments or in the chat and let me know your thoughts on the match. Now, if you see me kind of during this looking away, it's not that I'm disinterested. I've got you guys on camera here. I've then got the tactics board just below. I've got the stream chat over here. I've got stats here. I've got stuff written down here. We're a little bit everywhere. But let me know what you think of the match. What are your kind of reactions? We've got a couple of 3-word reactions here. Take our chances is the first one. I couldn't agree anymore. This team needs to learn how to take chances. The amount of times they get into a good kind of position, a good situation, and just fluff it, waste it, is starting to do my head in. We had that Anthony chance where he gets the ball on his right foot, kind of refuses to go on his right foot, so the chance goes away. We've got that late McTominay chance where he shoots instead of playing Bruno Fernandes. This team needs to learn how to kind of take the chances because it's becoming a bit of a joke. Bringing a striker that takes our chances, again, absolutely. I'm sure you guys have been following the Scouting for United series. This team is crying out for a striker. I actually think Martial played pretty well today, and Weghorst done okay when he came on. But yeah, this team needs a striker really badly. What other ones we got here? One more point. Yeah, big result from Aston Villa at Liverpool. So close to being completely secure today, but a late equaliser from Firmino. I thought Liverpool were going to go on and get the 3 points there, but they didn't quite. Job done nearly. Again, it looks like it. If you offered me at the start of the season 2 games against Chelsea and Fulham, you need 1 point at Old Trafford, I would have taken that at the start of the season. So from here, United should kind of get the job over the line. They should finish the job. Will they? Fingers crossed. I hope so. What else are we seeing in here? We need to learn to score the chances. Again, absolutely. Sign Harry Kane. That's my opinion. I think it will cost a lot of money, but I agree. Sign Harry Kane. I like the idea of it. What else we got here? Not the best of performance, but we got the job done. That's what I think we're going to see in this video. We will kind of go through that. I thought the team played well. It was decent control for large periods, but it felt a bit like the game was in first gear for 90 minutes. This felt like a team which is quite fatigued from the season, coming towards the end of a hard season, playing against a team which is kind of secure. They've secured their spot in the Premier League. It really felt like an end of season game, so I completely agree with that. Hey AJ, great to see you live. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Massive result for United, especially considering away form. 100%. United really needed that win, kind of get out of the way. Hopefully next season they can build on that more. Need to start taking chances, being far more clinical, and putting games to bed earlier. I'm sure you guys agree with me. Let me know in the chat. It gets to about the 80th minute. We are only 1-0 up, and the anxiety is setting in. At that point, I am always so sure that we are going to concede a late equaliser. I think it's probably something which all United fans are going through. How much you missed Rashi today? Yeah, I thought it was a big loss. It's a shame that he wasn't in the squad. Hopefully he'll be back for Chelsea. But yeah, it was a shame. It kind of takes away a threat from the team, particularly on the counter-attack. I thought when United were breaking, Sancho, Martial, Anthony, they don't offer that same directness, that same speed, and they don't put fear in the opposition in the same way which Rashford does. Really impressed with Lindelof and Varane today. I 100% agree. I thought the way that they dealt with Solanke was really very good. We will talk about the counter-press in this video at some point. Varane and Lindelof were very important in that. Varane in particular. Casemiro and Eriksen were excellent. I agree. We'll come on to it again a bit later on in the video. For me, Eriksen was man of the match. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. Bruno looked off it today, but thankfully we didn't need him at 100%. Agreed. Not sure what it was. I mean, I've got the stats here. He still completed 4 key passes, but he just felt like some of his decisions were a little bit off, and he didn't seem to have the same intensity on the ball. A couple of his shots were horrendous. Probably better off not talking about them. But yep, agreed. Overall, a boring game, but a massive result. Yep, Big save from David De Gea as well. Yep, very, very good. De Gea won the Golden Glove. Agreed, although I would word it, the whole team won the Golden Glove. You know, the defence won the Golden Glove. Do I play FPL? I do play FPL. I love FPL. I'm in a very tight mini league at the moment. We actually have an AJ analysis mini league, which I will link at some point either later on or in a community post. Again, feel free to get involved. It's good fun. And there is actually a football shirt on the line for the winner. Was glad to see we could get a result without Rashford today. I think that's important. Winning ugly and without key players is an important trait of successful teams, especially in a title challenge. Next season, ? Again, I completely agree. You can't win every game 3-0, 4-0, play beautiful football. You need to have those ugly results. And this is actually something that I was talking about with my brother earlier. Last season, United had a lot of games where they were 1-0 up and actually conceded late and only drew. This year, there's been a few more games where they've actually kind of seen out the 1-0 win. So that is something good which Eric has brought to the side. First time I'm seeing you live, doing a great job. Thank you very much. This is the first time ever live. Literally never done this, not even a kind of a test session. So let's hope it all goes well. Garnacho better than Sancho. That is open. That's your opinion. Do I agree? I think Garnacho has a higher ceiling. I think Sancho is very, very good still. I think the system doesn't work for him at the moment. Today I actually thought he was decent. But boy, when Garnacho comes on, his first touch is always straight at that defender. And it's so, so good to see. I absolutely love it. What else we got here? By the way, Arsenal losing. Yeah, I just got a notification through on my phone. 1-0 down. So it looks like Manchester City will be winning the title. Are they going to win the treble? Manchester United might have to stop them. Willing to do it in the Champions League final. Let me know what you think. Garnacho should start more often than Sancho. I agree. I do agree with that. I think at the moment it's been a case of kind of easing him back from injury. I think during the opening months of next season in particular, I think Garnacho will play a big, big role in the team. Recently got that new contract, didn't he? Absolutely brilliant. So, yeah, I agree. Very, very good. Does Ten Hag fast football system suit Sancho? Yes and no. I think the football which Ten Hag plays at the moment doesn't really suit Jadon Sancho. However, I kind of have an idea in my head of how Ten Hag wants to play next season, and I won't go through that today. I'll cover that another day in a separate video. I think long term, what Ten Hag wants to do, I think Sancho fits it very, very well. The problem is kind of in that transition period between the two, where, like you said, there's this fast, quick transitioning football at the moment. It doesn't suit Sancho at all. Welcome to the stream. Anyone who is joining, get in the chat below and yeah, say hi. Let me know your thoughts on the game. 3-word reviews is what we're going for, but in general, just let me know your thoughts. Feel free to ask any questions about the game, about the channel, about the world of football at the moment, about Arsenal losing to Forest at the moment. Let me know what you think. Loving this new stream setup. Thank you very much. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy it. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully we can do more in the future. Do you think Ahmad would be able to challenge Anthony next season? I think the Manchester United winger position is going to be really, really interesting next season. First, personally, I class Marcus Rashford as a wide player. So on the left-hand side, you've got Marcus Rashford, you have Jadon Sancho, and you have Garnacho. On the right-hand side, you have Anthony as the main one, Sancho kind of back up. There's also Facundo Pellistri and Amad Diallo. So if you take Pellistri out, there's 5 or 6 players there for only 2 positions, maybe 4 spots. So that'll be really interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Ahmad does. Could he even maybe be moved into a slightly more central position? We could see that as well, the same for Sancho. So yeah, let me know what you think. Good question. Right now, I'm not sure. I would be keeping him at the club next season, I think. Will he challenge Anthony? I'm not sure, but I think he'll get a decent amount of game time. Sancho's done at United, IMO. Half a year off and came back still not delivering anything close to what's expected. I completely understand that. I do. I think, personally, I still really rate him as a player. I think he is very, very good. Personally, I would still be giving him time, but I completely understand the idea of just get rid, because I do understand it. It is frustrating. Would you agree Sancho needs more under-overlapping fullback and also more runners into box from midfield? That plus a box 9 would help him surely. Again, I completely agree. I think that's what Ten Hag wants to aim for next season. So I think next season we see a different Sancho. I really hope we do, because he is so good. He is definitely a player which thrives with players running around him. I think we see patches in games where he'll pop up on the right-hand side for maybe even just 3 minutes. But he'll pop up on the right-hand side. Let me get the tactics board up, actually. to talk about this. He'll pop up on the right-hand side in areas like this, near Antony, and then you've also got Wan-Bissaka making the run. Instantly, Sancho kind of comes to life. He looks like that Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. So, yeah, I think get runners round Jadon Sancho. I think he's a completely different player. I think his game drastically improves. So, yeah, I agree completely. Do you think we need a right winger, considering Rashford, Sancho and Garnacho all prefer to play on the right, but I think you mean left wing? I'm not sure. I think with Antony, so much money spent on him, I think he will come good. And I think Amad Diallo as backup, I think that is enough for the right wing. Would you agree? Oh, sorry, I've read that one already. Do you think Dalot should have started this game? I was surprised he didn't. I think Wan-Bissaka played okay, and we will come on to his underlapping runs, actually. I thought they were pretty good in this game, kind of making this run into this position. I thought he done well. But I was a little bit surprised to see Dalot not in the starting 11. And actually, just on that, get in chat. Do you guys think it will be, like, who do you think will be the first choice right back next season? Aaron Wan-Bissaka or Diogo Dalot? First half of the season, there would be no hesitance. We all would have said Dalot. But recently, Wan-Bissaka has been playing a lot more and has looked better, in my opinion, than Dalot. So let me know what you think. Do you think Dalot... Oh, I keep reading the same one twice, sorry. I would give Sancho another season. I want him to be more tenacious. I agree. I think, again, when we see Garnacho come onto the pitch, he just picks the ball up and instantly looks to attack his defender. He puts real fear into the opposition back line. Sancho doesn't really have that effect. So, yeah, I completely agree. I would like to see him being a bit more aggressive. I was going to ask you that. What's that? About the Dalot or Wan-Bissaka. I would go for Dalot, personally. I think Wan-Bissaka defensively is very good in terms of 1-versus-1 duels. Positionally is a bit interesting. I think on the ball, Wan-Bissaka is really underrated. I think he's a great ball carrier, and he's really improved his movement in terms of runs off the ball. So he has improved. But I just think Dalot, in terms of his passing, the technical ability, the way in which he controls a ball, I think he is probably more likely to be what Ten Hag wants. I also wouldn't be surprised to see a completely new right back come into the team. Not sure, but yeah, I'm unsure at the moment. Nice headache to have, though. Completely agree. Just reading through some of these. If we get Frimpong, I'd want to keep Aaron Wan-Bissaka to balance things out. I get the idea of that, having Frimpong as your really good attacking fullback, and then Wan-Bissaka maybe that more defensive option against the top six. I completely understand that. First choice right back, whoever is on form. It works for me, and I think you can also pick it depending on the opposition as well. So, yep, I agree. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is good, but I think Dalot is really important to our build-up. Yeah, I do agree with that. Again, I think the way in which he kind of takes his time a little bit on the ball is better than Wan-Bissaka. I think he has a better understanding of the game and positioning. I also think the way in which he inverts at times is better than what Wan-Bissaka does and more natural to him. So, yep. Thoughts on De Gea today? Thought his distribution was much better today and made some good saves. Golden Glove would be a fantastic way to see him off. Yeah, I agree. I thought he was better today. I still think... what annoys me is the fact that we're forced long. I thought his long passing was better today, but when you watch other teams, they aren't forced to play long. We're looking in the 80th minute. United have the ability to play the ball up from the back. You go long, it does invite the pressure. It's still frustrating, but I thought it was of a better standard than recently. In terms of his saves, yeah, I thought he done well. I've got him in my FPL team, so I was happy with some of those saves, especially if we don't sign any centre-back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka for the ramp replacement, and Dalot at right back. I'm not sure about Wan-Bissaka in the middle. I just don't like his positional sense of defending. I think 1-versus-1 as a fullback is really very good. I don't actually think his reading of the game is that great, though. Is Sancho more suited for next season if Ten Hag's more possessional gameplay? I think so. Again, it gets more sustained attacks, which means more players around him, and you see him thrive a bit more. I actually think today he was decent. I thought he was better than Antony, personally. Actually, on that, one-word answer. Who do you think was Manchester United's best player today? I'll tell you mine in a second. I think I've already said it, actually. I think we need a new backup 10 for Bruno Fernandes. Understandable. I think next season, though, it might be Christian Eriksen. There's a lot of talks. Fabrizio Romano has hinted at United signing 2 new midfielders. I wonder if we might see 2 deep midfielders brought into the club, and then Eriksen kind of comes in as backup for Fernandes. We might see that, but we'll have to wait and see. I should maybe take a look at some backup 10s, though, in the Scouting for United series. I think it'd be Dalot in most games and Aaron Wan-Bissaka in big games against dangerous wingers. It makes sense to me. We saw how well he'd done in the Carabao Cup final when he came on at half-time. When we build up in a back three, I feel more comfortable when Dallo is on the ball. Completely agree. Casemiro. A lot of Casemiro in there. Lindelof as well. Anthony and Sancho are both awful. A little bit harsh. Casemiro, not even about the goal, but had a great game. I do agree. I still think at times his passing is a little bit sloppy, but kind of, as we'll see, tactically being the spare man, he done very, very well. Ahmad as a number 10. Keep your eyes on it. Keep your eyes on Ahmad as a backup number 10 next season. We could see it. I love Kovacic. I would love Kovacic. Me too, my friend. Please. Is he too old? Maybe. We'll see. Who'd be your free agent signing for the summer? I really like the look of Ceballos. I know there's talks of Rabiot. I prefer Ceballos personally. I think technically he's so good. Eriksen doesn't have the legs for 50 plus games per season. Needs someone with the energy and quality as a deep lying playmaker. Who would you like for that role? I really like Andre, great suggestion. Enzo Lafay as well, very, very good. Kokchu at Feyenoord is another good option. Kakare at Lyon. There's so many. I haven't made my final decision yet. I will do a video at some point kind of going through that. At the moment, I don't know. I think it was harsh on Martial. Yeah, I was a little bit surprised when he came off. I actually thought Weghorst done okay, but I was a little bit surprised. Yep, Danny Ceballos, I agree. I think it'd be good. Should we keep Sabitzer if we sell McTominay? Personally, not. I think the loan's gone okay, but I don't think it's worked particularly well. F in the chats for Donny van de Beek as number 10. I think Donny van de Beek's Manchester United career is over. Really, really disappointing, but it's best for him if he moves somewhere else and gets more game time. He deserves to play on a regular basis. It's not going to happen at United. Yeah. So that is, please no Rabiot. That's a great way to end that little segment. What we're going to do now is go through actually the tactical breakdown of this match. I will keep going through chat and answering some of these questions. Do we go for Frenkie again this summer? Yes, try it, but if he doesn't want it, don't spend all summer pursuing him. Don't bother wasting your time. Kim Min-jae updates. I don't have kind of inside information. It looks like he's going to sign. I really like him. I will do a video covering that at some point. But let's get on to the tactical breakdown of this game, because ultimately that's what you guys are here for. So we'll go through a bit. We'll have a break, go through some comments. I'll ask you guys some questions. And yeah. And as it does in every single video, it starts with playing the ball out from the back through David De Gea, Lindelof and Raphael Varane. And I thought today, as we've spoke about already, I think it went better than what it normally does. There were still spells where it weren't great, and De Gea was forced long and it doesn't really work. You know, the centre-backs kind of force the opposition striker backwards a little bit, buys De Gea time to then go long. It worked at times, other times it didn't really work. United don't really have a target man up there. However, in this game, there were more situations when United could play out from the back. We saw Bournemouth going for a front two. We kind of predicted this in our tactical preview with Solanke on Varane, Christie on Lindelof. But they didn't defend and press with the intensity with which I was expecting. They seemed a little bit cautious to me. Now, I understand being cautious because you are playing against Manchester United. They have a lot of quality. But I feel like against this United team, you can be a bit more aggressive on the press. So Bournemouth might kind of regret that. Because what it allowed was it allowed United to play out from the back, which then means they can take control. The wingers also really passive. I thought they were going to kind of join high and go to the fullbacks. They didn't. Which means something like this. Let's say Raphael Varane has got the ball here. Solanke is near him, but he's not pressing him. He's kind of there or thereabouts. He's keeping an eye on him, but he isn't really applying a press. And we've got the same with Christie on Lindelof. So what we saw a few times was Lindelof kind of stepping forward into midfield here. Christie's going to follow him, and then Luke Shaw just drops in. And with Brooks not really committing high to the press because you could tell Bournemouth were worried about the United threat, it means that Varane can quite simply go across to Shaw. Of course, this could all happen the other way around as well, with Lindelof going to Wan-Bissaka. But I thought it allowed United to play out from the back, so yeah, I don't have any problems with United to play out from the back today. Let me know what you think in the chat. Let's just have a look what you guys think. What did you think of the play out? I thought it was okay. Do you like this idea of the centre-back stepping into midfield? I quite like it because the way that it kind of takes the striker, really like it. Apologies for any comments that I'm missing. Like I said, this is literally the first time I have ever streamed, so it's a little bit difficult to keep up. So apologies if I am missing anyone. I'll try to get through as much of them as possible. But what did you think of the play out from the back? Personally, I thought it was quite comfortable. I didn't think there was really any pressure here. Anyone got anything to add on to that? If not, we will go on to kind of the next phase. Get in the chat, let me know what you think. Nothing particularly to say? All good. All right, so what we are going to go from here is kind of how United now controlled the ball. Once you are able to play that ball out from the back, you then take control of football matches, especially when you have quality players like United do, but also when you're against a system from Bournemouth's point of view, which didn't really work. So Bournemouth are going to defend in a 4-4-2. You've got Brooks and Anthony on the wings are going to tuck in, and Christie and Solanke are going to form this front two. What United done from here was kind of built in what I would call an off-balance 3-2. So we had the midfielders, as usual, pushing forward. Fernandes and Eriksen kind of into these positions. And then we had, let's say, for example, we would have Shaw kind of in the left-back position. Lindelof deeper here. Varane here. And then this is where we've got our off-balance 3-2. So we've got our back three here of Shaw, Lindelof, Varane. Casemiro and Wan-Bissaka are then are kind of our midfield two. And it's a structure which actually worked really well in this game. I thought the way in which the fullbacks were used to manipulate Bournemouth was really very good. And the reason for this is actually quite simple. And it's because United have the spare midfielder. So let's say United are 3 versus 2 here. And the ball is going to go wide to Luke Shaw at left back. Luke Shaw's got the ball here. Bournemouth don't just want to let Luke Shaw step forward with the ball because you can't just leave players unchallenged. So as a result, Brooks is he wants to go press him. He's tempted to go press him. So Brooks is going to step forward and try and engage. But the problem is Manchester United have a free man in midfield. So Sancho is going to tie up Smith here. We've got Eriksen, Casemiro and Fernandes versus Lerma and Cook. So let's say Cook, for example, might go press Casemiro in this area to kind of block this pass for Luke Shaw. But it leaves Christian Eriksen free. So when this fullback on the ball side was deeper, it allows the midfielder on that side to drop into this wide position, get the ball, turn, and then move forward. And then, of course, you've got the 3 versus 2 in midfield. And it's a way to quickly attack the back line. I thought United done that very well. But also, what this structure does, because like I've said already, it can work both ways rounds, is again it manipulates the other winger on the other side. So because Shaw is deeper, Wan-Bissaka is going to push a bit higher. And at times we'd see Anthony come all the way in, kind of dragging Kelly as well. Wan-Bissaka is then going to push forward as well. And this is going to drag the winger, into a fullback position, making a back 5. But again, United have the overload in midfield. So again, let's say Cook is going to go on Casemiro. We might have Lerma on this occasion is on Christian Eriksen. But Bruno Fernandes is free in a deep, wide position. This allowed United really quite easily to move the ball through the first phase. So it's kind of an off-balance 3-2 shape. Of course, there's rotations. Sometimes it's Fernandes in the back 3 or Casemiro or Eriksen in the 2. It, of course, changes. But the idea was using the midfield overload to... How do I word this? So they're using the fullbacks to manipulate the positioning of the wingers. We can see Brooks here on Shaw and Anthony here on Wan-Bissaka. And it opens up spaces kind of here in this area and also here. So then using the overload of 3 versus 2 in the midfield, United kind of always had this spare midfielder who could pull either into this deep wide position or this higher wide position on the other side. And I think that for me is why United were able to control. Yeah, again, get in chat, let me know what you think. I will try and respond to as many of these as possible. One thing about Lindelof, he is so much better than I even thought. Playing with Maguire really stunted him, but he is great and composed. I agree, I done a video on Lindelof the other week. Really, really good player. I think next season as a backup option, very, very good. Build up, it was fine. Didn't get pressed aggressively, so it was fine. Yeah, completely agree. Bournemouth should have been more aggressive, but weren't. It's because they've got their sandals on. Yeah, it did feel like that. It felt a little bit like they were on the beach. Season finished. We're safe in the Premier League. Let's ease off. So yeah, I agree. Did Man United make enough chances? I'll come on to that later. We will cover that in a bit. You're doing a great job for your first live stream. Keep it up. Thank you very much. You guys are great as well with all these comments. So thank you. Yeah, Man United did quite good building from the back, but they can't keep it up the whole game. I agree. There's this tendency as the game goes on for De Gea to go a bit longer, which disrupts the whole team. Brother, we need a number 9. The chance conversion rate is a joke. Yes, I completely agree. Building out from the back is a problem when teams press us because we don't have a keeper that is comfortable on the ball. I 100% agree, and I cannot stress how much I agree. For me, it's the most important role which needs to be addressed at the club. I thought, like we've seen already, Bournemouth didn't press high, so it weren't a problem. But when teams do go man for man and a bit more aggressive, then yeah, absolutely agree it's a problem. 3-2-5 or 3-1-6 overload has become a massive hallmark this season. So glad Ten Hag has managed to implement this with current squad. Hope we get a couple of additions to strengthen our ability with this. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. In this game, we actually saw a little bit of a different shape further up the pitch. But yeah, the 3-2-5 we've kind of seen in this first phase worked really well. Eriksen playing a bit higher is good for him. I agree. I think we might see him there more next season. I think Eriksen should be the spare man because he has the better passing. Yeah, he was phenomenal in this game. Dropping into these positions as the extra player worked really well. Would you take Firmino free to United? That's a really interesting one. That is not one that I have seen. It's an interesting shout. It's something which I don't really have an answer for right now. I'll have to kind of do my research into it and kind of get back to you. Do I think Ten Hag will buy a new goalkeeper? I'm really not sure. Really not sure at all. I hope so. I really hope so. Costa, to answer that other question, Diogo Costa would be the one for me. About a £65 million release clause. It's a lot, but I think it's so important. I think it's so important. Have you continued to watch Diogo Costa this season for Porto? If so, what are your thoughts on his performances recently? The past couple of weeks, I haven't actually watched too much of Porto. I've been watching some other teams to look at some different players, so I couldn't tell you over the past few weeks. In general, though, he's so good. The way which he plays with the ball at his feet, but also sweeps up behind the defence as well, both sides of the game, really very good. There will be another video on him in the summer because he's the option for me. Man United would be so much better in build-up if there was someone more technical than Casemiro. I agree. I think at times we need to see Casemiro kind of pushed out of the way and see someone higher dropping into that deeper position. United currently don't have the players to do that. Next season, hopefully we can see that. So again, I agree. I doubt Firmino would come to Man United. Yeah, I'm not sure. Probably not. He is seen as a bit of a Liverpool legend, isn't he? So yeah, the owner situation needs to be clear, to be honest. Yes, we can talk about transfer news on the channel as much as we want. If we don't know who's in charge, we don't know how much money is there, it's kind of a waste. So yeah, completely agree. Sancho coming in attacking midfield always looks like a threat. Yeah, I love it when he moves kind of from that wide left position into a slightly narrower position as the fullback goes round. I think it's a great dynamic. 65 million is a lot, but you're paying that for the keeper who has the potential to become a top level keeper. Agree. And also, not just a top level keeper, but at his age, a top level keeper for the next decade. This could be your goalkeeper for the next 10 years. I like the idea of it. Goalkeeper, it's all down to budget. It's not going to be a large budget due to financial fair play. Yep, priority is centre forward and midfield, not goalkeeper, unfortunately. I think the order for me is probably central midfielder, goalkeeper, striker, centre back. I think that's probably at the moment my priority. It kind of changes as kind of the weeks go on, but that's my order of priority at the moment. How much you rate Shaw at build-ups? I think Luke Shaw is one of the most underrated players in the world. Phenomenal player. If we get a better number 8 like Frenkie de Jong or Caicedo, would Eriksen move to backup 10? That's what I could see, especially if 2 midfielders are brought in. I think we could see Eriksen move further forward. Yep. I've seen somewhere that we can generate a lot of money from player sales. I think we could. How much money? I'm not sure. But players like Maguire, as much as everyone hates him, he's going to generate a bit of money. Someone like Martial, if he was to leave, not sure. Scott McTominay, though, he would generate a fee. Donny van de Beek, Dean Henderson, even kind of fringe players like Brandon Williams, even just getting those off the books, off the contracts, that would free up a lot of money. So yeah, I agree. Jan Sommer, love him. Would you take Marcus Thuram on a free? Not sure. Need to watch him more. Haven't followed him enough. Are you a United fan? Massive United fan. And if so, which transfers do you think United will make? I really don't know. I think Kim Min-jae looks very likely. Apart from that, I don't know at the moment. So, yeah. We need Greenwood next season. I'm going to avoid that whole situation and stick to football talk. I don't want to get in trouble about anything like that. Enzo Lefebvre, really, really very good player. He is someone that I'd have on the list for that midfield role. And would I sell Sancho for 50 million right now? It would be tempting because it would allow you to invest in the squad elsewhere and have Garnacho as the backup left winger. Probably not quite right now. And lastly, would I take Rabiot on a free? If another midfielder is brought in, he can come in on a free and be a backup 8. Anyway, back to this particular game. Because like we've spoken about, the 3-2-4-1 has allowed United to kind of overload and move the ball forward. As a result of moving the ball forward, Bournemouth very much felt in this game that they had to drop very deep. And you know, I haven't really got the room to show it on this particular graphic, on this tactics board, but they had so many players on the edge of... Are we back? I think we're good. Bit of a lag spike there. Can you guys still hear me? Let me know if you can hear me fine. Just drop a little yes in the chat or something, please. Yep, cool. Thank you very much. Sorry about that lag. My internet is literally a potato. What was I saying before I got distracted? Bournemouth are going to drop deep. Bournemouth dropped really deep in this game. And yeah, that's what I was saying. This tactics board doesn't quite allow me to show just how deep they were dropping because it looks too crowded. But they were really very, very deep. It's 9 men on the edge of the box with Solanke kind of being a bit higher. They dropped in very much like this. And I think people will look at this game and say United didn't actually create that many clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities, and I agree. But let's be honest, it's very hard to against this volume of defensive players. United tried, they pushed players forward, as we'll see, but it's really very, very difficult to break this sort of defence down. It doesn't matter how good you are. You've got to be so perfect to play through 9 players on the edge of the penalty area, so the team kind of gets a bit of leeway for me from there. In terms of shape, I felt that at times we saw a bit more of a sort of a 2-3-5 rather than a 3-2. With Solanke kind of being the only striker, not really putting any pressure on the ball, I felt that we saw a shape a bit more like this. With Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes pushing a bit further forward into the half spaces, Casemiro here, and of course, as always, as with every shape I will ever talk about, there's rotations. There's situations where Shaw drops deeper here, happened quite a lot into a 3-1. There's also situations where Eriksen is going to drop in as well. We saw that quite a lot. But I felt like when United were really pushing forward in that first half, when they were in control, really building up ahead of steam, I felt like this was the shape which we were seeing the most. Again, it rotates, but this is for me kind of the approach which United were trying to use. So again, yeah, let me know what you think. Let's just have a look at other things I've got written down real quick. Yeah, look, again, like it's something we need to go through. How do you play through 9 deep players? It's very difficult to do. Now, what you need in these situations is you need wide combinations. And I thought this was where United looked good down one side of the pitch, not so great down the other side of the pitch. And it may not be the way around that you would always expect. I thought United looked really good down the left-hand side. I thought Luke Shaw was kind of doing a better job of overlapping than what we've seen in recent weeks, providing the width. Eriksen's passing game was absolutely phenomenal. He had over 90 touches, I believe it was. Let me just find the stat, actually, for you guys real quick. Just 1 second. Eriksen, 91 touches, 66 accurate passes, with 91.7 pass success. That's more like what United need. And I thought it allowed this left-hand side to work quite well. I thought Sancho played well on the left. I thought his balance was better in terms of occasionally kind of going at his fullback, sometimes cutting back, playing it a bit safer. We still need to see, as again we've spoken about already and you guys have said, we still need to see more tenacity from him, more directness. But I thought his link play was a lot better in this game. And I enjoyed his performance. It allowed Luke Shaw to get round him at times and really create overloads in the final third. And I thought the kind of dynamic of this left-hand side was quite nice. I enjoyed it. Down the right-hand side, not so much. I thought Wan-Bissaka was good, although, he has a ceiling in terms of his passing. It's not the best in the world compared to someone like Shaw. It's not great. But I thought Bruno Fernandes, I think someone said it in chat earlier. I thought Bruno Fernandes was really, really sloppy. I think, like I said, he made 4 key passes in this game, so it looks like a really good performance. But there was just something missing. Maybe it's a bit like Sancho, actually. That lack of tenacity on the ball. And then Anthony on the right-hand side, first half in particular. He was a mixture of anonymous and just poor. Someone just said sluggish. I think that was for Bruno Fernandes. I agree. That is how it felt. It felt a little bit, again, it felt a bit like an end-of-season performance. It wasn't the Bruno Fernandes we're kind of used to. And yeah, Anthony on the right-hand side, just sloppy on the ball. Let me try and find his pass success, see if that backs it up. 85.7 pass success, so it's not too bad. But it's just, when he was losing the ball, it was poorly. It was in situations when he shouldn't be losing the ball. He then does other things, carries the ball forward really well, and looks great. He does it every week. But yeah, I thought the right-hand side didn't function quite as well. One thing, however, which did work on this right-hand side was Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And I'm really, really enjoying his runs off the ball. Because what we saw a lot in this game, with Bournemouth sitting so deep, was Fernandes and Anthony are kind of occupying Christie in this area here and Kelly in this area. We saw a lot of Wan-Bissaka making this run. kind of into this channel space, in the half space, getting into this area, going to the byline. Antony combined well with him. And this is where we're talking about since the start of stream. United need a number 9. Because Wan-Bissaka got into this position on several different occasions. He's looking to cut the ball back. Granted, Wan-Bissaka's delivery isn't always the best, but there's not enough movement going on in the middle. There isn't enough of a player who wants to break their neck and get into those areas where you score goals. Strikers which score 30 goals a season, even 20 goals a season, they don't score 20 great goals. They score 5 or 6 good goals, but they score 14 scrappy tap-ins, which are coming from 3 yards out. It bounces in off your head, off your stomach, off anywhere, and goes into the back of the net. United don't have that. Rashford doesn't do it when he plays up front. Martial definitely doesn't. And even Weghorst, I think, has disappointed in that aspect. But yeah, in terms of on the ball, United have got into this position. It's mainly can you break them down. The overloads were there, like I said. We've got Bruno Fernandes pushing forward. We've got Christian Eriksen pushing forward. United were overloading the back line because, as we'll see in a second, the counter press was really good, which allowed them to pin Bournemouth all the way back. So United done that well. In these situations, it's about can you connect in the right moments and produce a bit of magic. The right-hand side was struggling. I thought Wan-Bissaka was the only one playing particularly well. The left-hand side was, as we'll say, cooking a bit more. Sancho, again, still needs a bit more directness to his game. Get the ball and go at your man. Just take him on, take a risk. So we need to see that a bit more. But I thought this left-hand side was a bit better. And what United kind of eventually, in the first half, capitalised on was Bournemouth dropping too deep for their own good. Lerma, Cook and Christie in particular. Just a little bit too deep, which then gives someone like Christian Eriksen time on the ball on the edge of the box. It's what we spoke about in the tactical preview. United could have time on the edge of the box. We saw that. And, I mean, Casemiro makes an excellent run. I'm not too sure why Casemiro is in that position, but he makes an excellent run. Christian Eriksen plays the ball over. It's a really good ball, a bit of luck in terms of the deflection on the way through. It's a really good goal, though, isn't it? It's a really good goal. Yeah, I'm not sure why Casemiro was in that area in the first place, but yeah, it was a very, very good goal. And that was kind of the story of the game for United on the ball. I've seen the word a few times now in chat. Little bit sluggish. I thought at times it had zip to it. Sancho was moving inside really well and doing good things. Let me get the tactical board back. At times, Sancho's moving inside and doing really good things. I thought Martial had some really good combination play. Start of the second half and in the first half as well. Combining really well in these areas, playing 1-2s with Sancho, Bruno Fernandes. And that looked like the one way which United might unlock this defence. Like we've spoken about already, a little bit odd that he was bought off. At the time he was, I wonder if it was for a physical thing to kind of match Bournemouth, who had themselves just brought on Kiefer Moore, a big striker. So I wonder if that was the reasoning. But in terms of kind of United going forward, it was a bit first gear, a little bit sluggish on the ball, again to use the word. Kind of from a tactical point of view, United were in the right places and overloading the right areas of the pitch, allowing them to play out from the press, then sustain possession in the middle third, and then move into the final third. United done all of that very well. It's then about sharpness in the final third. They didn't quite have it. Antony was okay, a little bit poor. Bruno Fernandes, again, okay, a little bit poor. Eriksen looked very good. Sancho, brighter, but still not direct enough. And Luke Shaw, from this position, he's kind of mainly looking for crosses, and United don't really have the target man. In the second half, in spells, it was a little bit better. We saw United kind of going for longer passes with the idea of building the ball down one side of the pitch like this. You're kind of trying to drag Bournemouth across like so. Just give me a second to move all these players across. Always takes a bit of time. And then you go backwards, hit the switch to the other side. I thought United done that a little bit better. And again, that's kind of what led to these underlapping situations for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But in general, the attack didn't quite click. And that's my kind of final thoughts on it. Let me know what you think, though, in chat. What was the reason for the attack not clicking? Was it not having Marcus Rashford? Is it not having a target man? Is it just an off day from a couple of players because that's normal? Let me know what you think. Bruno this game was good on stats, but very poor in the gameplay. I agree. Like I said, he's got those 4 key passes, which looks very good, but there were certain things he could have done a lot better. So, yep, I agree with that. Fernandes was sluggish. Again, yep. Do you think Fernandes is fatigued? 100%. I see people say he's had a week's rest, he shouldn't be fatigued. These guys play a lot of football at a seriously high level, at a seriously high intensity. It doesn't matter how much you're paid, you fatigue. It happens. To break that low block, agility and excellent off-the-ball movement is needed. And I think that's what the team lacked today. I thought that agility, Sancho was the one maybe providing it, Martial at times, but the off-the-ball movement in particular, apart from Wan-Bissaka, wasn't quite right. They weren't quite connecting. Do I think that Antony's right foot weakness makes him very predictable? Yeah. Defenders invite him onto his right foot because they know he doesn't want to. In his defence, I think he's improved as the season's gone on. In recent weeks, we have seen him kind of take the ball on the outside a little bit more. So he's improving, which is great to see, but he's not there yet. He needs to work on that in the off-season. United front three are not good for us to challenge for the Premier League next season. We need a lot of improvement and investment. What do you mean by the United front three? Do you mean this particular front three or the usual one? Let me know. Fernandes should not be fatigued. The whole team had a week rest, unlike previous period where we had 3 games a week. Yeah, I think he still would have been fatigued. I think kind of the effect of 6 months, yes. They've had more rest than what they have recently, and certain players that really showed. Eriksen, for example, you could tell that guy had a week off. I thought, again, to go back to it, I thought Eriksen was absolutely fantastic. You could tell that he'd kind of had a break for a week, and yeah, it really showed. But I think it's still okay for players to be fatigued. But also, as you say, players do just have an off day. Top level players have off days, and it's completely normal. Yeah, I think it was a bit of both, to be honest. Completely agree. Not enough underlapping runs and cutbacks. Yeah, Wan-Bissaka done it well, but the option wasn't really there for the cutback. The movement in the box wasn't good enough, and also Wan-Bissaka's delivery isn't quite right. So yep, I agree. Not having clarity of spaces. A very good point. Look at the... Hang on, I haven't got it on screen. If we go back to the pitch on screen here, it was so crowded, and this doesn't even highlight it. The team was even deeper than this. It was really very crowded, and it's so difficult to break that down. If there's 9 blokes standing in a confined space on the edge of the box, it's difficult to pass a football through. So yeah, that's absolutely a reason. Our front four are static. Yeah, I think Martial needs to be a bit better with his movement. Antony kind of lacked movement off the ball today. Sancho had it in moments, but not enough. And even Bruno Fernandes, we didn't see those runs off the ball. We saw one very early, but yeah, not enough. Hey, good to catch you live. Love your analysis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your support on all the videos. Everyone's support, it really does mean a lot. So thank you guys. You are great. You really are. Probably a combo of a lot of things. No striker, poor decision making, off day from our usual most creative player, Bruno. Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I completely agree. What will be your opinion on Rashford if he has below average season next year? I'm not sure how to answer that question because I'm quite an optimistic person in general. So I think he's going to have a good season next year. So if he has a bad season, we'll kind of tackle that when we get there. But hopefully he'll have a good season. Been told you know about the Dalot situation. You have been lied to because I don't know anything about the Dalot situation apart from the fact he's a good footballer. Aaron Wan-Bissaka actually was very active on the offense, underlapping constantly and could make a 1-2 assist if Man United's shooting was clinical or keeper suddenly become prime Neuer. I agree. I think Wan-Bissaka's movement in the final third was probably the best of the United players. I think a year ago, it's something which he didn't do very well. But I think this season, Wan-Bissaka's runs into this underlapping position with Antony playing the ball have been very, very good. So I completely agree. Good observation. I think that's it for Martial. I'm worried for him. I agree. We need to get a win versus Chelsea, in which I'll back the boys to do so. Yes. I think United go into that game as favourites. Of course, a win or even a draw secures Champions League football next season. I will be previewing... what am I trying to say? I will be previewing that match on the channel in the next couple of days, so subscribe for that. I don't know if you've been asked this. What do you think of Andre? For me, he should be one that we look at for sure. Andre is a very, very, very good player. I do have a video somewhere on the channel. I think it was a couple of months ago now. But I really like Andre. I like the idea of kind of dipping into that South American market. Very good player. Very good player. If you haven't watched him, I do recommend it. Would you see Rashford hit 30 goals this season, given the last Man United player did that was Robin van Persie a decade ago? How many goals is he on at the moment? Does anyone know? How many goals is Marcus Rashford on at the moment? It would be great to see him hit 30. It would be really, very good. Is this your first live stream? My first ever. No practices, no tests. Literally the first ever live stream. Thoughts on Alan Varela? Again, kind of that market, what we were talking about a minute ago. Really good player. Need to watch him more. So I will probably cover it in a video at some point. But yeah, I need to watch him more. I want McAllister. He is so much we need. Really good player. Is he right for United? I'm not entirely sure. We've covered it recently. I think he's a great player. I think he's very versatile. Technically, he can play so many different roles. Is he the specialist which United need? We'll have to see what Ten Hag's plan is. It's quite difficult to predict our midfield at the moment. What else we got here? 29 goals Rashford is on. I think he'll hit 30. That's all competitions, yeah. So, imagine he does it in the FA Cup final. That would be quite nice. That'd be a nice happy ending for the season. That would be lovely, lovely, lovely. Andre is quality backup for Casemiro, and he'll have a supreme teacher in Casemiro as well. Yeah, I think that would be really nice. Again, of course, being Brazilian, kind of having that understanding with each other. I think also Andre could play a role as an 8, as a press-resistant player, kind of in the short term, and then eventually kind of take Casemiro's spot. So I would like the idea of that. You don't look out of place. Thank you very much. Yeah, you guys have made this really easy to do. Your guys' kind of support in the chat has made this really easy, really comfortable, really laid back. So yeah, good stuff. Romeo Lavia possibilities. Did you guys watch my Lavia video? It was about 20 minutes long, and I just kept coming up with more and more stuff to talk about. So did you guys get through that video? I enjoyed recording it. It was slightly different. We had a lot more match footage to look at. Really good player, though. Really like him. Do we need a box-to-box midfielder? I think United need a midfielder. I think most people think it's a first phase press-resistant midfielder, and that is my thought. However, to kind of... I think there is a world where it's more of a box-to-box midfielder if the technical ability of the defensive positions is improved. That is possible. Great at live streams. Thank you very much. If you guys enjoy this, we will have more. We will have more because I'm really enjoying doing this. So thank you very much. Lavia has got so much potential. Yes, really very good. How much is he going to be worth, though? That's what I'm wondering about. Ugarte, how much you rate him? Highly. Very, very highly. I think he will leave Sporting in the summer. I love watching Sporting. I watch him all the time. I think he will leave in the summer. Do I think he's right for Manchester United? Probably not, but he's a very good player. Ball carrier is what United need. I think I agree. Great video it was, the Lavia one. Glad you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Man United needs so many more. Very true. We need so much. How did you get into analysing football tactics? I'll be honest, I don't really know. It just kind of happened at some point. I've always liked watching things like Match of the Day and kind of watching how they break things down from a very young age. And it's just kind of gone from there. I got into coaching, then got into analysis work with a semi-professional club. And then eventually the channel came about. So yeah, 30-40 million since they're going down for Lavia. It sounds about right to me. Would you guys pay it? Would you guys be paying that? I mean, not literally. It's not coming out of your pocket. But do you think the club should pay it? Van den Boomen, is that how you say his name? I have to be honest with you. I'm very uneducated on that. I don't know enough about him. So you guys maybe tell me. Maybe I'll have a look at him. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I haven't watched enough of him, so apologies for that. Just one more point for Champions League. Fingers crossed. Will it come against Chelsea? Let me know what you think. Which club would be best for Neymar? No idea. Chelsea, maybe. It'd be cool to see. It'd be great to see him in the Premier League. He's my third favourite player ever. Absolutely love him. I wouldn't mind paying it. Is it coming out of your pocket? Personally, I'm not going to pay it. But yeah, I think he's a great player. He will go somewhere for that price. He's too good for the Championship. If Manchester United sell Martial and release Weghorst, we need at least 2 more centre forwards. Højlund and Kane would be perfect, but the price would be scary. Completely agree. What I quickly want to do before we kind of wrap up the stream, because we've been going for nearly an hour now and I actually need to head out. I just quickly want to cover things from a defensive point of view, because someone said right at the start of the stream that Lindelof and Rafael Varane were brilliant. And I just want to touch on that, because I think in general, United were very good defensively. I think the counter-press at the side of the game was really, very good. Now, it comes because Bournemouth have so many players in deeper areas. You know, they were kind of, by defending so much, they're kind of suffocating themselves a little bit. They have no outball. But United did counter-press very well. Because United have so many players in these areas, it means that, you know, let's say, for example, Anthony loses possession here and Kelly gets the ball. You've got Wan-Bissaka is quickly there on the winger. Fernandes is there on Christie. You've got Martial in here on the centre-back. Eriksen's going to move across. United done a very good job of winning the ball back in these areas. The recovery numbers from Sancho and Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes in particular were all very, very good. United done this very well. But the reason that they were able to do this was because the centre-backs were so good at the back. So let's say typically for Kelly in this situation, he kind of sees that all his mates nearby are marked, so he's going to send the ball long. And Solanke's normally very good in these situations. He's a big physical player. I thought the way that Rafael Varane dealt with him was quality. Really very good. Showed his experience to deal with him. Lindelof, at times when he was isolated with him as well, not quite as effective, but still very, very good. Again, I think Lindelof had a good game. And this is what... My voice just completely went. Please don't laugh at me too much for that. This is what allowed United to take control. Because they were counter-pressing and winning the ball back so high, Bournemouth just didn't get a single breather. They just couldn't get out of their defence. And, you know, as a result, United get back on the ball and then they're probing and trying to break the team down again. So for me, as much as all of the possession play was really good, the final third was lacking a little bit. I think it was the counter-press and the ability to win the ball high and sustain attacks, which was ultimately the most important thing in this game. And in terms of from a tactical point of view, that is the last of what I want to look at for this game. We will go through a few more comments. I will have a little chat with you guys for the next 10 minutes or so. But yeah, final thoughts on the Bournemouth game. Let me know what you think. Then I will go through some more just general questions. And I'll move the chat up here so I can see you guys as well. So we'll sort that out. Yeah, final thoughts on the Bournemouth game. Then we'll go through some general questions. So let me know what you're thinking. Like I said, it was a really nice goal. I'm not sure why Casemiro was there, but I did enjoy the goal. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me know what you're thinking. Is Rabiot on a free deal a good idea? I think if he's the backup midfielder, I like it. As the starting midfielder, I'm not a big fan. What do I think about signing Ruben Neves? Ruben Neves is a really, really good player. Is he what United need? I'm not sure. I think he can be a dictator. I think he can be high volume. His passing is very good. His long passing is very good. And I think he's underrated defensively as well. But I think United needs someone who's a bit better at carrying the ball, kind of dropping a shoulder, playing on a half turn at times. Not sure Neves is that for me. What are my thoughts on De Gea? Our fan base is clearly divided. It's probably time to go. That's my thoughts on De Gea. He's a legend for Manchester United, wonderful keeper, but it's probably time to go. Rabiot is a decent player, like an upgrade on McTominay. However, the package he brings is just not worth it. That's the problem with Rabiot. I think he's a good player, like I said, as a backup. But off the pitch, do you want him in the dressing room? Now, it's all just stories. We don't know for sure. We kind of have to trust what we hear. But it doesn't look great. First away win in how long? Tell me about it. It's been a while. It's been too long. Since Forest away, apparently. When was that? That seems like a while ago. I think we create opportunities, but not create enough chances from them. If we do, we can kill games off earlier. That is so right. I cannot explain how right I think that is. I completely agree with that comment. For me, an opportunity and a chance are two different things. Chances are when you literally kind of get the final ball and you get the shot off. An opportunity is more when you're in the position. United get into so many good positions, but waste the final pass or take an extra touch too many. So they don't actually get the chance from it. So yeah, I completely agree with that. Thuram on a free deal. Again, I just haven't seen him enough to know. Højlund looks very good though. Would Osimhen struggle to score when we have selfish wingers? I think you would see the wingers very differently in a team which has a proper striker in it, is my opinion on that. So, yep. A month ago, that Forest win away. Feels like a long time. When was the last time we scored from a corner or a free kick? I believe the stat during commentary today was that this is United's... No, sorry. United have scored the least goals from set pieces in the Premier League this season, I think it was. Really not a great stat. So someone needs to work on that, because a couple of Eriksen's deliveries were not great. De Gea would give him 2 years max and bring in a new keeper for sake. Personally, I would be letting De Gea go this summer. Yeah. Apparently, please do verify this. We have underperformed our XG by around 7 goals or more. Unfortunately, I can't actually get the figures. I don't have them right now, but I know it's not far off that. Yeah, I can't get the numbers right now, but yeah, it's something like that. Wingers and striker are not properly gelled up yet. Martial and Rashford still have better understanding. Yeah, Martial and Rashford, when they get going, really very good with each other. The other players need to kind of find that gelling, but it takes time. And again, I don't think we're seeing United play the football which Ten Hag wants. So yeah, maybe in time we will see that. It's mad. Yeah, you've got to take chances. You've got to keep them out at the other end better, but you've got to take your chances at this level because you don't get too many of them. Completely agree. Has anyone else got anything else to say? If not, we will wrap it up here. Kim Min-jae with Martinez will be a sight to see. Yeah, the ball playing of that pairing, especially if you put a goalkeeper behind them as well, could be very, very exciting. Really like the idea of it. I will cover, actually, a separate video on those two together. So, yep, we will check that. Rashford, does he return for the Chelsea game? No idea. I think he probably will. If it's just illness, I would imagine by then he will be all right. So, hopefully. I think our number 9 just not consistent. Yeah, Ronaldo basically on strike. Martial injured so much. Weghorst was not good enough. Pretty good summary. What's your starting lineup for Chelsea? I would love to give you it, but I need to do my research on Chelsea first. I don't want to come up with something and then kind of in a few days go back on it. Defence I probably wouldn't change from today. Maybe Dalot in at right back. The midfield, probably about the same. Maybe Rashford in up front, off the top of my head, something like that, but I'm not too sure. 30 million for Fred, keep or sell. It depends on who else you bring in. You know, if United bring in enough good ball-playing midfielders, you can probably let Fred go. Conclusion, Chelsea are, and I'll paraphrase, not very good. Yep, pretty good conclusion. Not sure what's gone on there. But yeah, would you buy Timber and play him right back to help our build-up? If there is enough money to do that and solve the rest of the problems, yeah, because I think Timber is so good. So good. Would you want a draw or win against Chelsea? A win, please. Win every game for the rest of the season. And forever, if possible. Take your time, brother. You're doing great. Again, thank you very much. Well done on your first live stream. Are you planning to do them at a regular time? Yeah, I would like to do them more regular. Again, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate your support. When would you guys like to see them? I could do it for transfer videos, maybe. Scouting videos, maybe. Tactical previews. Post-match. Like this, we could do this. We could also do, like, I done a video the other week going through players that the club should either sell or keep. We could do that in a live stream, maybe. So I can literally maybe get votes. That would be cool as well. Yeah, United versus Chelsea being a draw would be kind of classic. All of them. We'll see, maybe, how much time we get. Like I said, this live stream has gone so much better than I thought it was going to. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to watch the video back, let me know. If you want the video left on the channel, the live stream. But also, I'm lost. What was I trying to say? I've completely lost my trail of thought here. Do you want me to record a separate match analysis video for this match and post it on the channel in the morning for like a 10-minute video? So it's more concise than this. Let me know what you think in the chat. I would do a vote, but I have no idea how to. I'll figure it out for next time. I'd say pre-match, since you can then focus more on tactical analysis post-match. I like the idea of that. And then you guys can give me your votes on also who you'd like to see in the starting 11. Yep. People laughing at me for losing my trail of thought. Yep. Thank you so much for your quality content. Helps to understand the game better. Thank you so much for watching. Because if you guys don't watch, I can't make the content. So thanks to you. So thank you very much for your support as always. Do you think we would need super wealth to match City's success? Absolutely. I think anyone would. And defo leave it on your channel. I think I will do that. I think I will leave this on the channel. And then maybe do a video in the morning. Let me know if that's what you want. Just quickly, before we leave, put yes if you want a 10-minute video on this game in the morning. And just no if you're not bothered, basically. Last thing before we leave. Quickly let me know what you're thinking. I'm seeing one yes. I might do a poll on the community page. I'll do a poll on the community page on the channel so you guys can let me know. I am going to wrap the live stream up here, though, because, like I said, I need to go out and I need a drink. I've spoken too much. You guys know me. I speak at 1,000,000 miles an hour, getting loads of words out, and it leaves me out of breath by the end of it. So I am going to head off. But again, thank you guys so much for the stream. You guys have been absolutely brilliant. Your questions, I hope I've been able to answer most of your questions. Thank you so much for your input throughout the stream. Thank you for your support on the channel constantly. As always, it's brilliant. Yeah, I've been ill for weeks with a sore throat, so that doesn't help. Yeah, thank you so much, though. Really do appreciate your guys' support. And the last thing I've seen there, watch-alongs soon. Keep your eye on it for next season. We might see it coming. Live analysis with a tactics board, analysing the game live. We might do that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this live stream. Thank you so much for your help throughout. And I'll see you guys either tomorrow morning with a proper match analysis video like I would normally do, or I will see you in a couple of days for a City versus Chelsea video on Monday. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.